My name is Burcu Konuralp. I studied philosophy and I'm double minored in sociology and psychology for my bachelor's degree at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. And I came to France to study gender studies at Panthéon-Sorbonne. I'm following an arts track, but I'm mainly studying gender studies as my master's. And this summer, after my first years of master's, I joined Moderering for a 2 months internship. So this summer, after my first years of master's, I want to do an internship that was related to gender, because in class and at school we learn about a lot of history, theory, but I want to see what I can do with these knowledges and information in real life. So I want to see if my studies could have a real life impact. That's why I want to learn more about the contemporary issues surrounding gender and especially related to technology, so I can help society evolve in a better way, in a more egalitarian way. So I researched two main topics. I wrote actually two main papers. The first one was about gender-based violence. So it was a very in-depth research about how women are targeted and violated in online spaces, such as pornography, deepfakes, on social media. I researched how women engaged and what did they go through in pornography, for example, both in US and in EU countries and mainly France. So what was the differences and how did governments protect these workers? Which policies made them more vulnerable compared to others? I researched on, for example, revenge porn and how a lot of teenage girls are being subjected to like online harassment through images and insults. I worked on understanding governmental policies in general. For example, US is developing new policies to protect young people from deepfake, and France is like really putting forward policies for reaching to pornography before a certain age. So how are these policies are making a difference? And the second research and the paper that I worked on was based on race and race-based violence. I was researching mostly on women, but also men, because race is a big topic and there's a lot of stereotypical prejudice. A lot of like sexual harassment and online harassment is based on sexual racism. So that was a big topic that I was working on. I learned a lot, and I was trying to see how, again, governments are having policies to tackle these issues and put boundaries on social media. I was surprised by a lot of stuff that I've learned and researched. For example, the porn industry, I didn't have a lot of knowledge on it because I didn't know how women were recruited or they were coerced into doing porn and what they went through. So I watched a couple of documentaries and I read a lot of articles, and that showed me that from the outside it looks maybe professional, but actually there's a lot of emotional trauma, violence, non-consensual relationships that are going on. I was mainly surprised to see how in US, for example, porn performers were put into categories as freelancers. EU is mostly like employees, and even this makes a huge difference to protect their rights. And other than that, I was really surprised about racial categories that are still used in our daily lives. For example, in France, there's a term called beurette, and that is mainly sexual racism that is used by a lot of kids, young people and adults in daily lives, and it's attacking women, it's categorizing them in a certain way. I was surprised to see how gender violence is very normalized in our daily lives and online. So I had the chance to take a look on social media and help as much as I could, whether it was like developing some online content for social media, like doing some infographics or photos related to our work and our mission, values. So I worked a bit on that, and I also had the chance to work on a pitch deck, which really helped me understand more of the business side of things. So that was amazing. So this internship was not only about my main studies, but I also gained like other valuable skills that will help me in the future, like business, social media, marketing. I got to see how a business grows and what it needs to grow. I think there's a big difference between public and private sphere and how women are treated, even though like on the public sphere, it seems as women are getting closer to be equals to men. There's still a big work to do, but the actuality is even scarier on the private sphere. So the private sphere, what we mean by that is like things we don't see maybe daily or that's not out there in everyday life. Porn is a big example, or online harassment. I would say that there's a huge gap between what we're calling gender equality and what is really going on in the private sphere. I think, of course, like racialized people, and especially women, are in more vulnerable positions. So there's a term in like gender studies, it's called intersectionality. So while a white woman can experience a lot of harassment or violence or inequality, having a background from a different race or religion or ethnicity adds up and doubles the amount of inequality. So definitely racialized women are in more vulnerable positions. So this research was mainly aimed to provide some content and information for our programmers, developers, engineers, so they can really like learn about the issue, the examples, and what is actually going on in numbers or in like specific context, so they can use this research and take the information to create algorithms and pinpoint like specific examples and pinpoint the issues that are going on. They can have better knowledge and understanding of what the problematic areas are, so they translate it to their own systems and they build algorithms based on these informations. So the more the developers are learning these issues and the problems and examples, the more they can take this knowledge to prevent and pinpoint these issues in real life and online. So if someone is reading this paper and learning that there's a lot of like non-consensual relationships going on in porn, or there's a lot of racial categorization on porn, with this information they can find specific information and examples to block these content. I love working here because it's such a nice hub where there are different startups. So it's called Agaronov and it's based in Paris. It's an office space for a lot of different startups, whether they're like starting their journey or they already got investments. It's a really nice environment because you get to like interact with others. You get to be motivated during your time here because everyone is working for their projects and it's fun, even though you can socialize. So that's important, and you can learn and you can grow with others. But what was important was to have also a network. So it's a nice hub because you have a general network where you can reach out to others, to ask questions, to have connections, to work and collaborate, but to work in the future. For me, it was a great opportunity. And my daily life looked like coming to the office and taking my time to like put my stuff on the fridge and starting my day. And then we would have lunchtime where a lot of people from different like companies would have lunch with their teams and socialize, and then more work until the time you want. So there's no like strict rules and hours. So that's nice. You can even come on the weekend or you can leave at night, and it's always like the hub is always available to you. That was amazing. I would say working at a startup is great because you have flexibility and social interactions that make you grow. I think it's such an important tool because with moderating these kind of content and having a rape detection, like it allows to reach out to more people in those kind of situations. We can gain time and reach out to more cases. I think with the developing technologies, we see that like there's a lot of harm, even though it has a lot of advantages, but it accelerates harm too. So yeah, deep fakes are a big topic right now with like emerging AI systems and technologies. There's a lot of issues around it, and it's mostly like targeting women. When I was doing my research, I saw that when you ask to generate images with AI, like women and even racialized women were put into categories and sexualized like way more than men. So deepfakes are really targeting women and sexualizing them based on like our algorithmic bias. It's something we can prevent, but it's really dangerous because the system and the algorithm is like repeating the same pattern that we've been repeating in society since years. So moderation is important in that case to like really repattern and deconstruct the biases that we have and the system has. I have a few ideas. The first one that comes to my mind is about protecting women to like being reached out by others. So what I mean by that is whether like recruiters, like porn recruiters reaching out to like newly turned 18 years old for work, or having like online harassment on Instagram, like sending pictures on DMs, like asking for photos, all this stuff that can lead women to be manipulated, to pushed into things that doesn't have to be the path. And also thinking about minors, I think what is very important is like protecting children. So I think I would use my money for that, to a platform or a place where children don't have to be like, they're protected from these violences and harmful people that want to reach them, that want to use them, that want to manipulate them, helping children still having this safe environment where they can play and reach out to their own friends without the fear of engaging with something harmful that can detriment their physical and mental states. Yes, of course. I think whoever is interested in protecting people and interested and curious to see how AI is like developing, but in both ways, like positives and negatives, and who wants to have a real life impact, I think that's a great opportunity. Also for developers and engineers, because they don't only like code for something, but they code for something meaningful. And they learn a lot. I think they learn about real life issues while they're doing their own specific job. But also for gender studies interns, I think that's very valuable, because you really have a hands-on experience about like what the problem is and how to tackle it, how to change it. You confront with a lot of issues that's going on, and I think it makes you think more, grow more. The most important thing is that it's a really nice environment. It's like very warm, and it challenges you to grow, and in a very positive way. So yeah. So I'm starting my master 2, which is like the last year of my master degree. It will be mainly like a lot of courses for the 4 months until December, and then I have 6 months to write the thesis. I haven't decided on the subject, but I know that I will be integrating gender, AI, and art in some way, in a very specific way, and I will build a research based on that, a research question based on the intersection of the 3 elements. I'm a bit trying to like find the right path to how to develop this research thesis, because I think it will determine my career as well. But after, I wish to stay in Paris, France, and find a job here that is related to my studies. I just want to have a job that's meaningful while I enjoy Paris. Thank you.